So really intriguing things are happening in the 140-pound division. Obviously, Gervonta Davis has caused a big stir on Twitter as he's been, tweeting up a storm from his burner account, G Money, right? And normally when Gervonta Davis starts tweeting, it normally means he's probably gonna announce a fight soon or something's being worked on, right? So I don't really believe this report. I take it with a grain of salt, but for documentation purposes, we will speak about it here on True School Sports because it was reported that WBA 140-pound champion Gary Antuanne Russell is formally in negotiations with the Mexican Mike Tyson himself, Isaac Pitbull Cruz. That they're targeting a fight for August 22nd or September 5th in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. So that being said, what do I make of this fight? Because you look at Isaac Cruz. Isaac Cruz is coming off of a fight. Last time we seen Isaac Cruz in the ring, he fought another guy from the DMV area in Lamont Roach. A lot of people felt like he deserved a decision. It was one of those fights where it could have went either way. I thought a draw was fair. We haven't seen him in the ring since. He has not fought yet in 2026. I think this would be a very interesting fight because, and a very fun fight because Isaac Cruz has made it no secrets. Like, he said that he doesn't want to fight these guys that run around the ring, right? We know what that means. And the good thing about it is Gary Antuanne Russell is not a guy that likes to run around the ring. He's a guy that very much likes to be in the pocket, that likes to come forward, that throws a high volume of punches, and will allow for Isaac Cruz to fight to his strengths in the boxing ring, just because of how he fights naturally, without even having to think. Their styles are going to mesh very well. We're talking about an in-house PBC fight, PBC on PBC. I don't see why this fight couldn't get done. Now, the only thing that I think could derail this fight happening, if there is truth to the negotiations of the fight, is the fact that Gervonta Davis is looming large in the background. He's starting to talk a bit more, and I would say Isaac Cruz is probably the most, probably the most attractive option for him because, I mean, let's be real. Like, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. I know there's been talks about Tank fighting Devin Haney. Apparently, he reached out to Devin Haney. But I have no faith in Tank fighting Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson. Now, would it be great? Sure. It'd be great for the boxing fans. A lot of people be excited about it. It will really move the needle in this country for boxing. But it just doesn't follow the playbook of what we've seen. So I'm looking at this being a PBC in-house fight. I'm looking at Gervonta Davis fighting Isaac Cruz. I think that's the route he goes. That fight's been marinating for 5 years since they had their first fight, which was a mega success. Isaac Cruz has been champion and really upped his name in boxing since then. I think that's the route he goes. But if he doesn't go that route and this fight does happen, then what a great way for Gary Antuanne Russell to put his name, make his name bigger in the sport, because Isaac Cruz is one of the biggest stars in boxing, as far as the Mexicans are concerned. And I feel like, we hear a lot of talk about, especially like people like to shit on the American fighters, right? And they say like, oh, well, this guy don't want to fight this guy. But people are never as quick to praise the American fighters for fighting top competition as they are to shit on them for ducking fights, right? But here we got a guy in Russell. He's fought his last 3 fights. He's fought Alberto Puello. He fought Raul Valenzuela. He fought Andy Hiroka, right? Irrespective of how you think those fights went, in terms of what you thought they were, what should have happened, he fought those guys. He stepped in the ring with 3 really quality top fighters and showed you guys that he was willing, ready, and able to step to the plate and fight the best guys in the world. So he's a guy to me that deserves this kind of fight, and he's gonna be an entertaining fighter because you look at Gary Antuanne Russell. When you break him down as a fighter, southpaw, high volume, heavy hands, great amateur pedigree, a guy that's going to come to fight and knock your lights out. He's not a guy it's not in his nature to look for a decision, which there's no problem with that if that's how you fight. You do what you got to do to win. But it's, different people and different fighters have different temperaments and they're wired differently. And he's wired differently. He's not a Richardson Hitchens. He's not a Devin Haney in terms of, I'm just going to be okay boxing 12 rounds. No, this is a guy that wants to punch through the target and get you out of there. He comes from that DC DMV school of boxing, the headbanger school of boxing. Them guys like to fight in the pocket, like Lamont Roach, like Lamont Peterson. He's cut from that same cloth. So he does it in a bit of a different way. So I'm saying all that to say that I hope this fight does get done. I really do, because Gary Antuanne Russell does deserve this fight against Pitbull Cruz. And Pitbull Cruz he's eager to become world champion again. I'm sure he wants to become world champion again. I'm sure he wants to regain his seat on the on one of the thrones, the 140-pound division. And like I said, if Isaac Cruz takes this fight and beats Gary Antuanne Russell, I actually think it makes the potential Gervonta Davis fight that much bigger. But even with or without the title, I think the Tank Pitbull Cruz rematch is big, is massive, regardless. You know, and anybody who tells you otherwise is just lying. So that's really the only thing that I see holding up this fight. But I do think it's going to be a really entertaining fight. I do think it's going to be a fight, if it gets done, that is worth our time, our attention, and our energy. And yeah, that's what it is. And I guess the winner of this fight, if it does get done, just to kind of look ahead a little bit, if it does get done and does take place, the winner of this fight will be in line for some big fights, because you look at, from the Gary Antuanne Russell side of things, you know, he wants to fight Shakur Stevenson. He said it on in my interview with him back in February at the Mario Barrios Ryan Garcia fight. You know, he's made it no secret that that he liked that fight with Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson's got a lot of options, and right now, Gary, I would say, even though he's a champion, he's not the most attractive option for Shakur Stevenson. Even though I think they should fight, it's a unification fight. But if you beat Pitbull Cruz, that's going to up his status in the sport. And now that fight becomes a lot more attractive, you know, for Shakur Stevenson to go ahead and take. You know, so I would like that fight. They have history from sparring with each other. I like that fight for Gary. If Isaac Cruz is able to win this fight, I mean, you know, we'll see what he does. He doesn't really want to fight guys that can box and move, or that do fight like Shakur or Devin or Hitchens. He wants guys that come to fight, that are in the pocket. So who knows what he'll do. But for the Gary Antuanne Russell side of things, I look at the Pitbull Cruz fight for him as potentially the ticket to a Shakur Stevenson fight, if he can win the fight and do his thing. And that's also me considering the fact that, you know, Tank doesn't block the fight and be petty and go and fight Pitbull Cruz, you know, because that I think is very much in place. So I'll go ahead and leave it at that. Y'all can do with that information what you want. But yeah, it's been reported by Salvador Rodriguez that Gary Antuanne Russell and Pitbull Cruz are, in fact, in negotiations for a fight. So make of that what you will. And what do you guys think about that matchup? Who are you favoring? How do you think it plays out? What kind of fight do you think it'll be? Let me know all that good stuff in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you could love me or you could hate me. But I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.